Hey everyone, welcome to Reddit Readout. Today we are checking out Regular Revenge. Story 1. The Charm of Coins. I apologize for my English, which is not my native language, and for the flow, as I do not consider myself a good writer. TLDR at the bottom. This story took place on a small island in Greece on a hot summer day in 2014. My family owns a small convenience store, which is right across from a hotel and is our prime source of business, and I would work there every summer after my university finals. At that point in time, I was a 23-year-old university student, meaning I loved going out and staying late with friends, I loved sleeping until noon, and I absolutely hated the day shift, opening the store, cleaning, talking with vendors, etc. On that particular day, I somehow woke up at 7 AM with energy and was in a good mood without even taking a sip of coffee. Anyway, I headed to the store, opened it, and got done with all chores/tasks before 8:30 AM. I had yet to have a customer, as the hotel's guests tend to leave the hotel around 9 AM after having breakfast. The locals and other tourists are more active around noon as they head to the beaches in our area. When it comes to customer service, I am chirpy, smile brightly, give 200% of myself, and go the extra mile to help even if I am sleep deprived. However, I have a pet peeve: when I greet someone, I want to get greeted back, even if it's lackluster/half-assed. So, here enters the first customer of the day, whom I will call Old Money. Old Money was the 65-year-old, I assume, caricature of the 80s Greek lover stereotype. 4 to 5 top buttons of the shirt unbuttoned, hairy chest enough to trap the summer's bloodthirsty mosquitoes, gold chain with a gold cross around the neck, and more tan than a fisherman fighting with the waves to catch fish, with a lit cigar in his mouth, aviator sunglasses, and an attitude of "Do you know who I am?" Old Money came inside the store with his lit cigar, and I greeted him, said good morning with my brightest smile, and offered him an ashtray to place his lit cigar, which I would then place outside, as it is not allowed to have lit cigarettes/cigars, surprise, surprise, in stores. He didn't greet me back, frowned, and was bothered that I asked to take away his precious cigar. At that point, I was starting to get annoyed, and he hadn't even told me what he wanted. Still, I didn't let that show on my face. Old Money, I want water. Me, first of all. Hello and good morning. I emphasized. Old Money, Again, he didn't greet back. I let it slide and told myself you should not bother. Me, we have cold bottles of water outside and even colder ones in the freezer if you are interested so that they will last you longer. Old Money, from the freezer, 6 small ones. Go get them. Do I even have to mention the self-service part of a convenience store? Straight face. Anyhow, I still kept my smile, told myself not to argue with him and that the sooner he left, the better for my mental health, and went to fetch the bottles of water. Me, do you need anything else? Old Money, no. Me, okay, that will be 3. Old Money took a wad of cash of all colors out of his pocket with a money clip, and he gave me a 50 bill. Me, sorry for asking, but do you maybe have a smaller bill? We have a fund for breaking big bills, but we try to avoid it and ask if the customer has smaller bills to get through with the rest of our day. Greece entered the POS/card game late, so we didn't have a card machine back then. Old Money, you are the cashier, you deal with it. At that moment, something popped inside me. Do you guys know what wealthy wannabes hate the most in the world? The clinging sound of coins in their pockets, smiley face. For non-Europeans, the euro coins are the following: 1 cent, 2 cents, 5 cents, 10 cents, 20 cents, 50 cents, 1 euro, and 2 euros. I could easily give him 45 in bills and a 2 coin, right? Where is the fun in that, however? As such, I gave him 40 in bills and 7 in coins. How many coins, you ask? 100x 1 cent, 100x 2 cents, 40x 5 cents, 10x 10 cents, 5x 20 cents, of course. I painstakingly counted them one by one before him. He was dumbfounded when I handed him all the coins. Old money, what is this? Me, it's your change, sir. As you kindly reminded me, I am the cashier, and I dealt with it. I kept smiling as I said that with an innocent, angelic face. He was rendered speechless and stomped out of the shop with a red face, forgetting to get his precious cigar with him. Me, goodbye, have a nice day. One would expect he would never enter our store again, right? Yes, we were wrong as well. He came again, the next day. Now, I have to mention that I have a younger brother, who is 2 years younger than me, so that makes him 21 at that timeline, who worked at the store too, and he is the personification of a resting B*TCH face. He is a great person, but you will either love him or hate him to the bone. I had told my brother about old money and the incident, and he craved he was in my shoes. So, chance encounter. It was afternoon when old money entered the store. My brother was at the register, tending to 3 customers, while I was outside, restocking the fridges. I noticed old money, headed inside, and whispered to my brother, "It's him." My brother glanced at him, arched his brow, and told me he got it. As such, I started tending to one of the 3 earlier customers, and old momney spoke to me. "Old money, I want 6 small bottles of water, like yesterday." Before I had the chance to speak, my brother interjected. "Brother, here is a plastic bag. You can go outside and pick the bottles of water you like." Old money, but yesterday. He fetched me the bottles. "Brother, as you can see, we are tending to customers who came before you, and we offer to help when it is not a busy time." Old money took the bag reluctantly, picked his bottles, and came inside to pay. This time, he gave the exact amount and left. My brother and I smirked and continued with our day. Dr. 65-year-old wealthy man got plenty of coins as change for being rude to the cashier. Story 2. Revamp of Want to be a jerk final cancel your bridal shower. This is a currently ongoing situation that I have recused myself from. I've known Karen for over a decade. I was at her first wedding and through the several guys she's lived with since. Karen and Ken are living together. Karen is previously married and divorced with 3 children, 1 is grown and the other 2 are teens, and 3 baby daddies, all of whom have been in prison for the bad charges. She doesn't have custody of her kids or pay child support either. Ken was previously engaged and has at least 1 grown child. Ken and Karen don't work. She hasn't worked a day in her life and wears it like a badge of honor. Karen does have a medical issue, but she also didn't take her meds for a while and exacerbated the issue. They live off the system and get every entitlement program they can get their hands on that they qualify for. Neither Ken nor Karen drive. She has never driven even before her medical issue. They can't even afford a bus pass. They have to walk everywhere unless they get the medical taxi for doctor appointments. We all live in an area where there's usually plenty of snow in the winter. They have to walk to get groceries, go to food pantries, they go to quite a few in walking distance, go to the laundromat, and to anywhere else the medical taxi can't take them. Karen and Ken live in another county from where I and my friends who decided to help them live. For the majority of us it's a 4-5 minute drive from them one way. They refuse to move out of their current apartment because Ken's lived there over 15 years, but the apartment is super tiny in a drafty old house and crappy neighbors. Ken and Karen believe they are entitled to mine and my friends' help in paying for their wedding and my help planning it. Neither family is willing or offering to help them plan, pay for, or do anything but are going to show up to the wedding because my friends are throwing a reception afterwards. On to the current situation. Ken proposed to Karen around the holiday season 2022. She, of course, said yes. She was excited and I was happy that she was happy. After the holiday, around February 2023, she started asking me questions about weddings and how to do things pertaining to the wedding. She said her ex-husband planned her last wedding and she wasn't sure how to go about things. More and more questions until I realized I was planning her entire wedding. I even did the wedding registry and planned a bridal shower surrounded by my friends who were willing to help her and give her gifts to make their lives better. In early February I made Karen aware I would be returning to school and made her aware of the date I start. She knew I would have assignments due as I'm in uni, and yes, some of my assignments have due dates on weekends. Ken swore there weren't classes or assignments due on weekends at uni. I told him I was in college, not high school. I arranged for the minister and church free of charge. The pastor is a friend of mine, instead of them having to pay for a church and a donation to the minister. She wanted to use a florist and I explained that she would need to save up, but she wanted to get married right away, so I suggested silk flowers from Dollar Tree or fresh cut from Walmart. She got white and pink silk flowers. I helped her find bargain shirt, shoes, and shorts for the groom, and a decent church dress for her. She asked me to be her matron of honor and I said I would, and that I had a church-appropriate dress that was new, and her dress and his shirt were blue and my dress was blue background, white flowers. Karen and Ken also just had to have a reception even though they can't afford it. He's on food stamps and she can't eat, yet she swore she needed a reception. The wedding cake became a necessity for her and she has no clue how much a true wedding cake even costs, nor could she afford one. She even seemed to think I should provide the cake even though I don't have graduated pans or the other things needed for the cake. In a good faith effort to be nice to the couple, I planned a small shower for them with about 15 of my friends, as she doesn't really have friends. Of course I did expect to pay for the shower, which was no problem. Even planned ahead enough to figure out homework and have it submitted Saturday morning before I left, since the shower was mid-afternoon. Karen and I discussed the wedding date and time and asked that, if possible, late morning would work best, so I had the afternoon for my homework as I needed to tie up a big class assignment that week and put finishing touches on it and get it transmitted on time. Karen agreed and a time and date were set for the wedding. That is until 1 week later when all hell broke loose. Pastor and Ken decided that they needed to move the time of the ceremony until later because they needed to have more time to drink coffee and wake up. The pastor also said the people at church needed more time to set up even though the wedding was weeks away and they would be there at the church for the 2 evenings prior to the wedding. They definitely could have stayed a few minutes later and put up decorations. I probably would have even helped on that as well. Many hands make light work thing. I just flat out told the pastor and the bride I couldn't be there at the new time. At this point Karen starts bawling and having a meltdown. Apparently, some of the kids were coming. I don't know how my not being able to attend affects that though. Then Groomzilla Ken, who to this point has done jack all of nothing to plan the wedding, gets on her Book of Faces messaging app and starts about it being their day and how Karen knew no one would help her. He hasn't and won't plan for their day but sure will accept all the freebies. After he started calling me names, I told him the shower was cancelled and that I was pulling down the registry. Pastor's wife Kathy has decided she will throw the shower, same date, same time. Now Kathy can take an additional 3 hours in drive time to her day to pick up and drop off the bride, so 2 round trips. I suppose they will still do the reception as well. I'm not going to either event. I've only blocked the name caller and no one else. So did I mention I created the registry and I deleted it? EDA, Ken has money for cigarettes and food stamps for copious amounts of MTN due. They also have animals that I have had to buy food for because they were too broke to afford it. Update, Karen had her bridal shower and of course she had to show pics. I didn't attend. From her pics there were 3 women there. I had around 15 to 20 people lined up to definitely be there and a few that were going to mail gifts. I'm sure Kathy attended and just wasn't in pics. The gifts looked very budget-friendly, which is fine considering these women don't know her. The registry had been more middle-of-the-road price-wise with some cheaper items and a couple items that were around the $100 mark. She didn't get a lot of things she needed but she can figure out getting them. I still plan to not attend the wedding. Right now I'm low contact with Karen and no contact with Ken, Pastor, and Kathy. Update 2, Ken and Karen did in fact get married. I didn't attend this event either. The church was decorated with things bought by church members. Since I knew exactly what Karen had, I know other people bought the decorations and she didn't have money to buy what was there. Karen got her free wedding cake as well as the free reception even though she can't eat. Kathy stood up for her apparently. Kathy has one dress and she wears it for everything where she needs a dress, though she has a job where she can afford at least one more dress. She usually wears jeans and a t-shirt to church on Sunday morning even though she's the pastor's wife. Eventually Kathy will stab Ken and Karen in the back. She's done this to several people, especially if you don't kiss her butt. Apparently one of the guests took some pictures and Ken's gut took front and center stage in each one and Karen appeared to be intoxicated on something. She had to show off, but honestly she looked so drunk I'd have been embarrassed. That's all for today. Please don't forget to like and subscribe.